Get it? You got it. Another one. Well, greetings and good afternoon from Hopalong Hollow. This is Jerry. It's been a while since I've made a video, and I have a lot of good reasons for that. Before I explain to you what's been going on around here, let's pour a cup of tea because I've got something new to try today. This is a tea by Harry Nichols, Rose Pouchong. Thank you, Karen. Never tried this before, so this should be a new experience. So we will pour that cup of tea and get started. Looks like a very interesting tea. You can see the rose petals in there. And pour it, get it steeping, and then we'll begin. So, I have not put up a video for, I guess, about 3 weeks. There's a really good reason for that. By the way, I'm pouring into a really, really old cup. I used to drink my coffee out of this wonderful cup every day, but then it just got to the point where I thought it was just too delicate to use anymore. I am going to use it. So the last couple of weeks have been fairly trying, and the first thing that went wrong was that my camera crashed. And the camera I've had for about close to, 8 to 10 years. A really good camera. I've always loved it. A Sony 6000. It's been a great camera, but I knew that things were going wrong with it a couple months ago. It just started to act weird. I just couldn't fix it. So anyway, this time it did its final crash, and so I was without a camera. Number one. Well, after doing much searching, I looked for another camera. I picked the Sony 6400 after much research, and I got it. And then the memory card wouldn't work that I had. So I had to order a different memory card. Now, for those of you who make videos and you do a lot of filming, I'm sure you can follow along with me with what I'm talking about here. Now, I got a new memory card for it, and then when I put it into my video editor, my movie maker that is, my movie maker crashed. And that was also understandable because I have been using that movie maker. It was so dated, but probably, I think it was a 2011, yeah, 2011 movie maker editing program software. So I had to work out that problem. So when I finally, then I had to get a new updated video editing movie maker. And I had to learn all the new tricks, and everything was different, and that was another pain, because I'm really not technology-minded. I'm simply not. In fact, I hate that sort of thing, but you've got to do it. So finally, I worked everything out, and it has taken this long. So I'm really not used to my new camera. I have a lot of things to learn about it. So even though I'm still using a Sony, it's a newer version, much newer version, and it's going to take a learning curve to get used to that. So I don't know what this video is going to look like. I'm still working on that. Okay. Oh my goodness, what are you doing? Where did you come from? Scared the heck out of me, Prudy. Trying to figure out how to use this camera and this new program. But anyway, it also gave me a nice break and gave me a chance to think about what I want to go, where I want to go with this channel. I've had this channel for a long time. I really have. Over 10 years, to be honest with you. And that's a very long time. So even though you look at my subscriber count, and to some people they think, oh, that's a lot. It's really not. It's really not, considering the fact that I have had this channel for over 10 years. I only get normally about 240 subscribers a month. And for the first 3 years, I never had more than, I think, 2,000 subscribers. Not much. So it's actually a very slow-growing channel. But I did notice something when I was absent these last few weeks, and it kind of caused me a lot of concern. I don't know if it was because I didn't post any videos, and I really don't think that was it, because that's happened in the past when I've taken off for a while. But my subscribers dropped. People were just dropping off right and left, and I had no new subscribers for the first time in all these years. In fact, lost many subscribers. In other words, the people that left the channel outnumbered those that joined. So that's a lot. That's an awful lot. And that's kind of disappointing. And so I have to ask, why is that? Is it because nowadays there are so many garden channels that every time you turn around there's a new one loading up, maybe? And there are a lot of people out there that are much better gardeners than I am. So that could be it. And this isn't strictly a garden channel, but to a large degree it is about gardening and taking care of your yard and that sort of thing. So I just wondered if that was it. Or is it because in my last video, is it because I mentioned God several times in my video? I hope that's not the reason. I hope people are not so offended by the Lord that they would stop watching your channel just because they find out you're a Christian. Well, I'm not going to hide the fact that I'm a Christian, because I am, and I'm very happy about it. I don't think I could survive in this crazy world if I weren't. But anyway, that's something to think about. And I would like to know from you, if you stop watching a channel, why? Why do you stop? Why do you leave a channel that you've been watching for a while? What causes you to watch a channel in the first place? And what would you prefer to see on this channel? That would be very interesting to me. So let me know in the comments. Now, aside from the fact that my camera crashed and the movie maker crashed and all those other little problems that happened, aside from all of that, we had such problems with the weather. And we are looking right now at the beautiful maple tree here in the front yard. First we had horrible heat. I think it was all across the country. Then we had rainstorms for about 2 weeks, and it was during those rainstorms that we got a lot of trouble. So I'm going to move on to another place in the yard and talk about our maple tree. By the way, the tea is very good. It's light, it's floral. It's such a light tea that I think it's great for summer or springtime. So, Harvey Nichols, Rose Pouchon. Very good. She is our beautiful maple tree. I've been watching that tree grow for 32 years since I've been here. And unfortunately, we're going to have to say goodbye to her. The storms have done tremendous damage to the trees. Limbs, huge limbs, have been breaking everywhere. As you can see, this beautiful tree is really close to our house. The tree has become a real hazard. And although we were just going to have it topped off, they recommend we cut the whole thing. It is only about 20 feet from our house. And every time it rains lately, huge limbs are falling off, just missing important things like fences, propane tanks, bridges, cars, that sort of thing. So on Monday, they're going to cut it down, and I hate to see this beautiful tree go, but I'm just glad it's not spring and there aren't nesting birds in there and little squirrels. But hopefully, if there are any squirrels, they'll jump to the walnut tree or many of the other places they can live in. But this one has to go. Oh, my broken pots here can attest to the fact that many, many limbs fell right here in this little garden room here. But I wanted to show you the trunk of this tree because James measured it, and it is 15 feet in diameter. The tree company said it's actually 2 trees that have grown together. And the danger is up in that crook right there where you can see the black and the moss is growing. This is a water maple. It's full of water. It's super heavy, and it could split right there and go in 2 different directions. So we are having it cut on Monday. It's going to change the look of this place. It's going to change the front garden from a shade garden to a sun garden. I'm hoping it brings a lot of light into our living room, which is quite dark. And my little herb garden, which is way back here. And if I turn around, the herb garden right here has been really, really shaded by this tree. And it needs a lot more sun. You can see, and as you can see where the limbs are just shading so many areas. The woodland garden, that's going to be kind of sad because I do need shade there. But most of all, the little herb garden over there just doesn't get enough sun. And it really has a big effect on what grows. I really wanted to concentrate on that little herb garden today and show you some things that I've done in there. But I wanted to cut this video pretty short just because I'm using a new camera and a new movie maker, and I'm not sure how long it's going to take to process this film. So, on Monday, they're coming in to cut that tree, and I am going to take video of it the whole time because it's going to be quite an adventure, and I'm going to miss this beautiful, beautiful tree, but it'd be a lot worse if it fell on the house. So, glad to see you again, and from Hopalong Hollow, this is Jerry, and we will see you next week. Bye-bye.